Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Very well. So Machiavelli talks about virtue and fortuna.
Yes.
What are these concepts and what does he say about them?
Yes. For Machiavelli, virtue has a different meaning altogether. So
It's not virtue.
That this is not virtue which had been envisaged in the Christian ethics or which the Borgolas used to practice in Italy. This is a virtue which he embeds in the pragmatism or realism, and which he wants the prince to embody, to ensure that whatever the fortunas or whatever the difficulty the prince is going to face in his
He calls fortuna a coquette.
Yes. So whatever difficulties are there, he is going to handle them fiercely, with strength, with those virtues which are realistic and which analyze the situation around the person.
So prince should be a combination of?
Fox and lion.
Okay. Machiavelli also inspired some theorists
Yes.
of international politics.
Yes, sir.
Which theory is that?
It is realism, sir.
It is realism.
Yes, sir.
Realism is very briefly what it is and who are the other sources of inspiration to it.
Realism is a theory which again believes that the international structure is there. So the international relation, so it has two theories to it. One which believes that...
I'm first talking about classical realism.
Yes, sir. So classical realism believes that the international relation is more about balance of power, and all the states are looking for more and more powers so as to ensure that their power is maximized. And war is the solution. So it is embedded in the Treaty of Westphalia of 1648. Then there is modern realism, that is more of a structural realism, that the theory that has been given by Kenneth Walt. We say that international structure is different from the domestic structure, whereby in the domestic structure there is a hierarchical form of government. In the international structure there is no government.
So I'll stop you here.
Secure.
What is the, you must have read the billiards ball theory also.
Yes, sir.
So what is it, very briefly?
Billiard board theory is given by John Burton. It says that the states are like ball placed in billiard.
Yeah.
And they
what
are
is
going
the outer
to,
shell comprises of? The hard outer shell indicates what?
the boundaries.
Sovereignty.
Yes, sir. Thank you for informing me, sir.
Okay. And Mearsheimer talks about the security dilemma.
Yes.
So there are three types of security dilemmas. Are you aware of them?
No,
One is perceptional.
Yes, sir.
Structural.
Yes, sir.
Perceptional. And the imperialistic.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you can just brush up on
sure,
these things.
Sure, sir.
And also 6 distinct phases of Indian foreign policy.
Yes, sir. So should I tell that?
No. You know already.
6 distinct phases of Indian foreign policy.
Yeah. Just tell me the years.
It would be 1947 when we got independent and the policy
just
of
the years.
Then 1971.
62.
Yes, 1962. Then 1971, I'd like to skip the wars with Pakistan. Then 1990s. Then 1999 and the nuclear doctrine that came up. And
98.
now 1998 and 1999
and 2013.
2013.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
All right. 1987, something of significance happened between India and Sri Lanka. What was that?
It was a code signed between our then Prime Minister Shri Rajiv Gandhi and the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka.
What was that agreement about?
It was about the autonomy and the rights of the Sri Lankan Tamils in Sri Lanka.
The Indian Army went there to implement the peace accord.
Yes, sir.
It landed up fighting LTTE.
Yes, sir.
How did that happen?
So it is because of the peculiar scenario the Indian Army was placed in. So it went there to ensure that there is no conflict between the LTTE and the Sri Lankan forces. But Sri Lankan forces were keeping their bay. But LTTE started the offensive, and then bound by the agreement, we had to ensure that the violence is not boiling out, and we had to take up guards against the LTTE in Sri Lanka.
That's not really accurate. We read about that, but there was some major fault line in the whole thing, you know. Who all were there party to the signatory, who were signatory to the agreement?
The leader of the LTTE, then leader, Prabhakaran.
No, that's the problem. He was not party to the agreement. The agreement was signed between Rajiv Gandhi, that is India, and
President of Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Jayawardena.
The affected party, which would have implemented or not implemented, was never signed it.
Sorry.